WBO middleweight title against the quiet North Londoner Michael Watson. The two men had something in common. They'd both beaten Nigel Benn. No mean achievement. This was to be Watson's second shot at a world crown. Just over a year earlier, he'd proven himself in a brave but losing effort against Mike McCallum, that for the WBA version of the belt. With his trademark vault over the top rope, Eubank was established as Britain's most flamboyant boxer, the guy the public loved to hate. The Brighton man was growing in confidence with each successful defence, but this was reckoned to be his hardest challenge since beating Benn a year earlier. Watson was ready to make the most of his second chance. Eubank would have to be at his best.
Barry, a prediction?
Well, this is the time to sit on the fence. Both fellas look in great condition. I'm going to pick Eubanks on a close points decision. If he gets lazy, he'll lose the fight.
12 rounds for the middleweight championship of the world, the WBO version.
This fight is going to answer a lot of questions about both fighters. Has Michael Watson got over the McCallum defeat? Remember, he took a terrible pounding. He's beaten Errol Christie. He's beaten a guy called Brown from Trinidad. And he's beaten a guy that was like a blown-up welterweight from Australia so far in his comeback. But he hasn't really been tested yet. So this fight will prove whether he's still got it in him to win a world title. Watson will prove to Eubank that he has to fight 3 minutes of every round. He can't afford to get lackluster and silly. He's got to work 3 minutes of every round against Watson, or he runs a chance of losing his title here. This is going to be a superb fight. Both guys are in super condition, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this.
Physically, you can hardly separate these two men, both in the absolute peak of condition. Eubank, as Jimmy McDonald was saying, just feeding off the hostility generated by the Watson supporters. And both men perhaps susceptible to body punches. We saw Nigel Benn really hurt Chris Eubank with body punches. We saw Mike McCallum destroy Michael Watson with body punches. And it'll be interesting to see that if Watson goes ahead and tries to take the fight to Chris Eubank, whether the body shots will be the main avenue of his attack.
He's a good thinking fighter. Watch those body shots. He's aiming for the body already. He's not taking any chances. He's easing forward. He's not rushing forward, taking it bit by bit. He's using the right tactics to take the play away from Eubanks. Eubanks have got to make sure not to let him score too many points and take too big of a lead. He's got to be well in the fight. He's got to fight 3 minutes of every round. This will test whether he can do that. This fight will test that.
Well, there's no doubting to my mind that Michael Watson is a very underrated fighter, but also you wonder whether Eubank is underrated, whether we've ever seen him at his very, very best yet.
I don't think we have, and we'll only see him at his best when somebody pushes him that far. And I'll tell you what, Watson's going to push him that far for sure.
Well,
no clean punches landed yet. Just feeling each other out there. That's right. Just feeling each other out, taking our time.
A half smile almost on Eubank's face. Watson just getting the tension out of his frame in the first round. A little bit tense around the shoulders.
Rumours that both guys are having trouble making the weight. Both will bang on 11 stone 6 today. Good opening round. Even Stevens.
Yes, you couldn't really separate them in this opening session. Eubank going for a little stroll. Ronnie Davis, who is like the chief support to the Eubank Roadshow.
Well, that will tell Dave later on in the fight if he takes his time getting back to the corner. 60 seconds is little enough time to recover. And if he takes another 10 or 15 seconds getting back to his corner, he's down to 45 seconds to recover between rounds. And that's unprofessional.
Well, just an inch in it as regards height advantage. Otherwise, smack bang on the middleweight limit of 11 stone 6 pounds. Jimmy Tibbs with the dark hair, Eric Seckham with the glasses. Eric Seckham, London taxi driver. Jimmy Tibbs Well, he's a man you know well, Jimmy Mack.
Yeah, Jimmy trained me right from day one as a professional, and a lot of credit for my success. It's got to go to Jimmy Tibbs, absolutely first-class trainer, brilliant.
Round 2, Eubank, the champion, in gold.
The opening round was just basically a scouting mission, and I think the bombs are going to go quite soon because Chris is looking his normal, strutting, confident, arrogant self, and it'd be interesting to see how cool Michael Watson can stay. Chris has got tremendous hand speed, which I think a lot of people tend to underestimate.
Well, for me, what Eubank's great advantage is, apart from his speed and his trickery, he's got a tremendous chin, as we saw against Nigel Benn. As opposed to that, Watson's no slouch speed-wise.
The fascination about this fight has been the mixed reaction from everybody. I remember one Michael Watson fan saying, you know, I'll have my ass on it, and a fan of Chris Eubank, would have been Chris himself, said, how many asses you got? That's the kind of belief. 2 good shots from Chris there, 1-2, no problem for Michael. That was sharp. Michael Watson, you can see 2 light heavyweights who can make middleweight, 2 real big guys at the weight, and treating each other with a little bit of respect, although they're trying to play it off, but both guys ain't going reckless just yet.
Well, it's perhaps significant that in these early minutes, it's Watson who's doing the coming forward, looking for Eubank, and it's Eubank, the counter-puncher, who's taking advantage of this.
That suits Chris if Michael comes on, that's what he wants him to do. But Michael, interestingly enough, has got a very good left hand, which shouldn't be underestimated. He jabs, he doubles and trebles it, and that might be his can openers for the big right hands to follow. But so far, Chris will be pleased with the way things are going.
This is not a bad round, this, for Eubank, just about shading this one. Landed some good combinations, and it'll suit him down to the ground if Watson comes forward. So, if you like, the first technical battle won by Chris Eubank, the champion.
You could just see them both trying to outthink one another, trying to feint, trying to move, to make the other one make a mistake and draw him onto a big shot and gain a psychological advantage so early in the fight. So far, it's been nip and tuck. I can always sense it in my water. This is going to be a classic. And Chris Eubank is a fighter I call percentage, and we don't know how good he really is. He got pushed in the Benn fight and he come through. Tonight, I feel he may have to go even bigger and better than that. If he's capable of it, time will tell. Chris certainly tells me he is. That was a sharp right hand from Eubank, side of the head.
We're in round 2 of this 12-rounder. Eubank in yellow, Watson in white. And Eubank perhaps just showed it that round.
Eubank's good at winding people up, and he's breaking the composure of Watson and enjoying the fight so far. Playing with his trainer, playing with Watson in terms of mentally, trying to wind him up and get inside his mind. And so far, I've got to say, it looks like he's edging the mental side of things.
Well, Eubank still just sitting himself down now.
You see the slow-mo here, Chris is backing off, Michael making the fight, but there's a long swung-in left hook counter from Eubanks, which Watson was alert to, but as the fight goes on, they could become more crisp and better executed.
Watson's got to take the fight to Eubanks, and what he's doing is he hasn't thrown a head punch all the way through these first 2 rounds. He's throwing body shots. Now, when he does that, he runs the risk of getting nailed with a right hand, as he has done in the last round. So
Frank Cappuccino telling both boys stay in the corner before the bell. Round 3.
All down to a game of tactics. Who's going to win the tactical battle? There's no doubt that Watson has hurt Chris Eubanks with a couple of those body shots, but Eubanks has also hurt him with that long left hook that we just seen between rounds there, and a good right hand over the top.
Well, Watson has studied his videos, and he knows Eubank does not like the body shots. You can see Chris there with his elbows jammed inside, trying to block those shots. Ben so nearly beat him on body shots, Chris Eubank.
Yeah, definitely doesn't like the body shots, but has his hands down. You see, it's very difficult to land a clean body punch. Look where Chris's hands are. He's not worried about his chin. He's just worried about his body. He's got his hands down low. And it's very difficult to hit a clean body shot in between those elbows. And then, of course, Michael's walking in now with his hands, left hand down to throw that left hook to the body and walking onto them right hands. So, long way to go. And a lot of things are going to happen in the next 10 or 9.5 rounds.
Frank Cappuccino telling both boys to break. It's the first time the American referee has had to do anything in this fight, which has been thought of a good spirit so far.
Again, I must stress that Eubanks can't run the risk of allowing Watson to get a lead on him with those points. And if he does get a lead on him, he won't let that lead slip. So Eubanks has got to know that, and he's got to make sure and work. He's inclined to be a bit lazy. He's got to work hard in the rounds. He's got to work more than a minute or 45 seconds of each round in clusters. He's got to work more than that.
Word about the scoring. 3 ringside judges score. The referee does not. And it's 10-point must system. 10 for the winner, 9 or 8 for the loser. Those are the WBO rules. And we also have mandatory 8 counts in operation too. Well, in this third round again, it's Eubank who's forcing Watson to make the pace. You can see Watson expending a lot more energy looking for the openings.
Nice body shot, Dave. So that's the first one that landed clean. Now again, Chris, you see how much he dislikes those left hooks to the body. Going back, and he's inclined to show it. But he came back himself there with a couple of good body shots. He's got to work on that right hand. He's got to keep Watson off him. He's allowing him to take the fight to him, but taking it to him too much, pressurizing him too much, and making him make mistakes.
That was a good right hand.
That's the first
from Watson.
right hand.
Eubank smiles.
That's the first head punch he's thrown, and he landed clean on the button with it.
Eubank's got a good chin.
He's got a tremendous chin because he took Ben's best shots. Ben's probably the most explosive middleweight in the world. He took those shots, but he can't afford to take too many. He's dependent on Watson running onto that right hand. He's got to work a bit more. He's inclined to let himself go a bit lackluster. He's got to work a bit more. He's coming to the end of the round there, and that was Watson's round for sure.
First round even, second round Eubank, third round Watson. That's how we score it at ringside. All square so far. And now he comes back, he sits down. Ronnie Davis.
Here's this right hand from Watson. That's the first right hand he's thrown, landed flush on the chin because Eubank was trying to protect his body so much. Watson didn't throw a clean head shot all night long, landed the first right hand right on the button there in the third round.
Now that shot you see there from Michael Watson, that overhand chopping right, is his one best shot in his armoury. He's thrown it successfully, not just as a professional, as an amateur as well. It's accounted for plenty of opponents, and now he knows he's a success with it. I think he's going to start relying on it. Mr. Bruno looking in, and he's excited about his fight as everybody else, and he's unsure as well.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Round 4 of this 12-rounder. Can't split him at the moment. But I tell you this, Eubank is fighting a damn sight better than he did against either Gary Stretch or Dan Sherrick. This is back to him at the Nigel Benn standard tonight.
And he knows it. You know, that's what I'm saying about the percentage. Chris is going to have to raise his game tonight. Watson is the force, as he calls himself, and I think Chris is going to win or lose. He's going to respect Watson at the end of tonight. I think they'll respect one another.
Ronnie Davis, Chris Eubank's trainer. I sometimes wonder who tells who what to do in this arrangement. But they're a good team.
Well, now we've seemed to have got some form of pattern with Chris trying to draw Watson onto the counters and Michael being aggressive but concentrating mainly on the body. Who's going to find the right answer to solving the problems that each is solving, posing for each other? Interesting.
Eric Seckham, Michael Watson's trainer.
Watson concentrating on that right uppercut, which he screws up the body. And if you think back to the McCallum fight, that's one of McCallum's shots. So that was a learning process in a fight where he took what some people consider a systematic beating.
Good rounders for Eubank.
He's gone to score and he's shown it tonight. Eubank's his ever-present cool self.
And the spray flew off Michael Watson's head then as that lift got through.
Fascinating battle. You can almost see them trying to outthink each other. Tremendous.
Chess with gloves, this is. And you can forget all the bull and the hype pre-fight about them not respecting one another, because they do and they do now. And Michael Watson has taken a couple of good shots.
It was good shots as well, Dave. Bang on. Very accurate.
Well, if we wondered how much Mike McCallum did take out of him tonight, we will find out. Eubank so cool. That was a good right to the body from Watson. Eubank looks at him as if to say, how dare you?
Eubank is starting to get accurate now, though, Dave. He's letting the shots go in clusters and getting through with 2 and 3 at a time. Is that a sign of what's to come?
Oh, there's a long way to go yet, Jimmy.
And, you know, Michael's so crab-like, so good defensively as well. It's hard to hit with a clean shot. I'm surprised to see him get with 3 on the spin.
Good round for the champion, that one.
Here's Collymore. And still stand Collymore! And it comes for Cantona! What a chance here for Keane! He's taken it!
Great footballers are not like ordinary people. They are heroes.
Thursday at 7:15 on ESPN Classic.
Yes, thanks. We're really sure we can deliver on this job. We are the market leaders, we're highly professional, and I can guarantee...
I've won.
Play online and we'll email you if you win. Lotto. Who's next?
Oceans couldn't stop him. A wild land couldn't stop him. Years of toil couldn't stop him. The doubters couldn't stop him. When Thomas Hardy left England to help pioneer the wines of the New World, he proved something. Following your heart can lead to wonderful things. Hardy's, one love, since 1853.
What's worse than being dumped?
Are you breaking up with me?
Being dumped for a rock star.
What the hell?
From the makers of Knocked Up and Superbad comes the ultimate romantic disaster movie.
Oh, wow, you got coral on your leg.
Can you get out of my leg, please, hotel man?
You sound like you're from London.
Oh. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I'm not going to tell you the name of this band, but they're great. Thank you.
Now you can ask us anything.
And by anything, we really do mean
anything.
Don't get left behind. Speed around cyberspace with fast and reliable mobile broadband from Vodafone. Go on, make the most of now.
Choosing glasses can be overwhelming. At Dolland & Aitchison, we'll help find what's right for you.
There's speculation that I'm a superhero. I'm just not the hero type.
Iron Man. Until Sunday at DFS, as well as our amazing 4 years free credit and first year totally payment free, we're giving away half a sofa absolutely free. In fact, we've lots of sofas that come with half free. Of course, the free half is attached to the other half which you pay for. The half-price emotive collection only until Sunday, where you buy half and get half free.
You think this is super? Do me a favour. Watch the real Superbike World Championships. You know you want to.
Every night this week at 9:30 on ESPN Classic.
Round 5.
Round 5.
Yeah, Eubanks has got to come, you know, I'm not going to say he's got to come forward. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to work a bit more. He can't run the risk of letting Watson, you know, take an early lead. And although Eubanks looked extremely confident in the last round, you know, Watson was scoring with points in that. So it'll be interesting to see the individual judging from the, you know, the separate judges. They will make their mind up, obviously. But there's no hometown favourite here. They're both domestic fighters, and you know, the judges from different parts of the world. This is a very close fight, and both guys are boxing absolutely superbly. The tactics have been excellently executed, and it's really you know, it's a game of physical chess here. They're trying to outscore one another, outthink one another, and it's whoever breaks the other tactics first, whoever breaks his way of thinking. Oh, what a right hand! Beautiful shot. That was the best shot of the fight, Dave. What a right hand. Fantastic.
And that was out of nowhere. That was so quick, and you saw Watson's knees just wobble.
Already Watson's left eyes are swelling. That was a superb shot. Absolutely beautiful shot.
And indeed, a little swelling starting to appear on Watson's left cheek. But he took that shot very well.
Indeed he did. That was a superb right hand. That's been Eubank's best shot. That right hand has hit him right on the money. Every single one of them landed right on the button. And that's the problem. You see, Watson's got to come forward and use those body shots, but he runs the risk of getting nailed with that right hand, and he has done all night long, but that's the most severe right hand he took so far. And all the time Eubank's confidence is gone, but he can't get too cocky. He can't allow Watson to come back and score and flick with punches. And Watson is, you know, he's a hell of a fighter. Oh, beautiful left hook. This is a superb fight.
When Eubank gets you on the hook, he doesn't let you off too often. Watson says, you want to rumble? Fine by me. Good fight.
Bloody brilliant fight there. What a fight.
You can see Watson already marking up around the eyes, a few little bumps and swellings.
You see that when Eubanks actually started to come forward a bit, he was more effective. He came forward, he went back, he's using the right sort of tactics. He's changing it all the time. He's been offensive, he's been defensive. He's boxing very well. This is a bad round for Watson. He's taken a lot of shots in this round, and for the first time has been badly wobbled.
Yeah, the Watson corner looking a little bit anxious in this fifth round. But the crowd, the bulk of them Watson fans, getting behind the Londoner. But as Barry said, that was a good round for Chris Eubank. And Eubank not even back in his corner yet, just strutting around the ring.
I wish he wouldn't do that, Dave. You know, he's such a talented fighter. He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to pose. We all know he's a poser, but he should get back to the corner. He's only got 60 seconds to recover there, and he shouldn't be wasting that vital time on the side of the ring posing at the crowd.
I think he just feeds off the adrenaline, Barry, that the reaction from the crowd gets to him.
Here's this right hand. What's that now? That is right down the button there. Absolutely perfect shot. And Watson was badly hurt with that shot. That's the best right hand. And of course, look at the accuracy of Eubank's follow-up shot. I think we get another glimpse of it here. That left hook hit him right on the button too. You know, 3 or 4 good, real heavy shots in that round. Big round for Eubank.
Well, after that round, you know, Eubank looks to me to have gone into the driving seat. He seems to be boxing his own fight, letting Watson make the fight, make The chase for the title's on, and Chris is enjoying Watson's advances. As the fight goes on, Eubank is going to grow in confidence if he gets through with many more shots like he did in the previous round.
Well, there's no doubting at all now that Eubank has established an ascendancy of sorts over Michael Watson, but he won't keep it if Watson drills him too many good rights like that.
Chris is trying to play with Watson's mind. You know, he's tremendous at winding the opposition up. People have said the best tactic for Watson would be to be canny and try and draw Eubanks into him, but Chris makes the rules when he's in there. That was a good right hand from Watson that time, counter. Eubanks didn't even budge. Now what Watson needs now, he needs to score with something solid, something hard to make Eubanks show a little bit of respect, because at the moment he's treating him with a little bit of contempt.
Watson got in a couple of good headshots then, and Eubank just acknowledged them. It's been around for Watson.
Yeah, he's come back out and took back into the driving seat. He's got through with 1 or 2 good right hands and starting to advance and up the pace. Chris, the cool pot picker as always.
And Frank Cappuccino, the American ref, to his eternal credit, just letting him get on with it. Good refereeing.
Now, Watson now knows in the back of his mind that Eubanks can hurt him, because he's definitely shook up a little bit in the last round. So he knows he's got to keep his mind 100% on the job.
More to the point, Jimmy, he's got in a couple of good shots himself as Mike Watson, but I don't think he can hurt Chris Eubank.
Now, we know for sure that Eubanks has got what he calls a cast iron chin. There he goes again. People love him, they hate him, but you've got to respect him. He backs up what he says. That's a sign of a good fight, what Watson's doing, coming forward without running onto shots. He's coming forward correctly, not getting nailed in nothing, and just trying to set Eubanks up for the heavy armoury. Good round from Watson.
Yes, it certainly is, especially after the stick he took in the last round, and I've got him taking this one on my card.
Yeah, he's come back in this round. Chris seems to switch on and off.
Just worried about the little swellings around the Watson eyes. Eubank is such an accurate and damaging puncher. He'll have noticed those. He'll be aiming for those for those spots.
They both landed with a right hand there, Dave. Bang on.
But right on the belt. Watson's round.
Watson's round, a fascinating fight. No one's really gained the upper hand. The last round, I thought Chris might have just got into the driving seat, but Watson's pushed him back out of it.
You know, I tell you, you got 12,000 people. You can see about 20 of them there. 12,000 people, and they're loving this. You see Jimmy Tibbs working with the eye. Now that is a piece of steel. It's ice cold, and it's designed just to get the swelling down.
I still feel both fighters are just creeping up through the gears. I think we're going to see an explosion of action in another round or two. You know, they're both going to try and impose. Here's Watson getting through with shots we were talking about. Straight left and a right, bang on, but no even signs of being hurt from Chris Eubank.
The problem is, Jimmy, of course, Eubanks had a good last round, a big last round. Then he got cocky, overconfident, allowed Watson to come out and take the next round. He can't do that. He's got to, if he's the champion, he's got to take control and keep control of the fight.
There's his chance to
back in the takedown.
Here he goes. Round 7.
Will we have another big round from Eubanks? He's coming at him this time. Tremendous fight. I don't have to tell you that. You can see it. What a fight. Now this is going to be down to who's the fittest of the two guys and who wants it the most. Second half of the fight, blistering pace, lots of punches thrown. And I'll tell you what, Eubanks has worked harder in these first 7-6 rounds than he did in the Benn fight, and there's still a long way to go. Look how alert Eubanks was. The referee shouted at him, you know, your punches are low, Chris, and he just nodded at him. And
he said sorry.
Range.
He said sorry.
Yeah. Now, you know, what's the judges going to do about Watson coming forward? Are they going to score points for his aggression, or are they going to give Eubank points for picking his shots?
That's a very good point, because there's no doubt that Watson is certainly throwing more punches, but the quality shots are coming from Eubank.
Slowly creeping forward. And remember, American judges favour aggression, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Eubank talking to Watson now.
You know, it looks like Eubank is, you know, taking a breather again. He had a good round 2 rounds back. He started off this round good, but now he's taking a break again. That's what I said. He can't run the risk of falling into little lapses of concentration and allowing Watson to build up the score again.
These are dangerous tactics.
Gotta keep going, gotta keep throwing punches. And even if he's not throwing punches, you've got to look like you're working, moving your head, bobbing and weaving, moving those shoulders and moving those hands. It always looks impressive to the judges. Oh, what's the referee?
Well, that was a little backhander from the elbow, and that was a little naughty, and the referee picked that up. And that was silly. That was shades of the backhand up, the back head up, that nearly got him disqualified against Dan Sherry. He has these little moments of madness, does Chris Eubank sometimes, and that was one of them.
Switch to the body there, Eubanks. Watson coming in on top, closing the distance down, working to the body. Eubanks making himself a small target when he drops that head down, keeps his hands up, moves his head out of the way, and there's a hard target to hit. Good right hand from Watson. You know, that's a very even round. It'll be up to the judges, the individual judges, to decide who's won and lost that round.
Well, the thing is that, as we've said, there's going to be no hometown decision in this fight. We've got 2 North American judges and a South American one. The North Americans, they do unquestionably put great store upon aggression, and the aggression is coming from Michael Watson. However, a lot of the shots are not landing. Chris Eubank is fending them off.
Yeah, the harder shots have been coming from Chris Eubank. The cleaner shots have been coming from Chris Eubank. The more work has been coming from Michael Watson. Although sometimes he's not throwing punches, he's coming forward, moving his upper body, moving his torso, bobbing and weaving, and making himself a difficult target to hit. It's a very interesting fight. I'm sitting on the fence here, Dave.
Well, that was the quietest round of the fight so far. Now, we're going to take a look at this little incident. Just the elbow. Well, we were on the blind side of the camera, and although we were on the blind side of the camera, we were not on the blind side of Frank Cappuccino, who spotted that and just had a little word with Eubank. To Watson's credit, he didn't do a Dan Sherry and do a dying swan, but well, Eubank will have to watch that. That was silly.
All I can say to anyone looking in back home, the fight, the class, the moves, they speak for themselves. Just keep watching. We've got better to come, I'm sure. Brilliant. I think Eubanks is sensing now that the fight's too close for comfort. He's going to try and take over. No, Michael Watson knows he's faced McCallum before, so his confidence is sky high. It's his second attempt at the world title, and he wants it so bad.
The left eye is getting ever narrower, Michael Watson now.
Eubanks got ambitious with a left hook there because that was one of his early successful punches, but Watson seems to be alert to it now. So the class of the fight is right at the top draw from both fighters. Chris seems to fight in spasms. He fights for 10-15 seconds as he did at the start of the round, and then goes back into his shell and walks and tries to set you up for a sneak right hand. Watson's getting a bit between his teeth and fancying it more and more as the rounds roll by.